for giving me another opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. No problem.
Anamika, thank you so much for giving me this another opportunity. Actually, this last time actually it was a mess actually. So I'll
No
try my
problem.
level
No
best.
problem. And we are very sympathetic about people who are working and they need a lot more support. So, no problem about.
Uh,
Yeah.
just another thing, Anamika, I have completed this admin intermediate also, and I'm
Okay.
trying my, I'm trying the last part actually.
Good, good. No problem. So let's start off with where we left in the last class. So we talked about standard objects, right? So anybody remembers the names we talked about, what objects we worked so far? Go ahead, unmute yourself and you can let me know.
So there
How
are two
many?
type of objects: standard object and custom object.
Okay. What standard objects did we learn in the last class?
So standard object by system default can't create uh, uh, unnecessary files. Custom object I may create or not.
That's fine. But what standard objects we saw? How many standard objects did we saw in last class? Anybody remembers the standard objects? We talked about account, right? Contact. What else? Anybody remembers anything?
Uh, Price book, opportunity
Price book,
mapping table.
opportunity.
Opportunity property.
Mapping
Property.
mapping table is a type of table. It is not a name of the table.
Sorry,
Then
Property.
opportunity. Sorry, please come again.
Property.
Property,
हाँ
actually it's product, sir.
product. Correct.
हाँ
What else? Anybody else?
Price book list.
Price book entry. Right. Price book entry. Then what else? What was the mapping?
Opportunity product.
Opportunity product. Good. Great. What else?
User is missing, sir. User.
User. Okay. What else? Nothing else we missed out? Lead object, right? We also talked about lead. Okay, cool. So these are the standard objects. Let's see and jump into Salesforce and see how we can see these objects, right? Or tables. So you guys now have a Trailhead account, I hope. So you have already started learning. So
yes sir.
you log in using your LinkedIn profile, I hope, or anything else. No, no worries, but LinkedIn profile is a better profile. So here, if you are doing any trails and you have created a playground, and the hands-on org, if you go, you will see there are many playgrounds which has got created, or how many playgrounds. You can create a new playground like this. So what we will do is we will create a new playground. Batch 23, right? We'll use this playground going forward for all our classes. Yeah. So it will take some time for this playground to get created. This you will get in hands-on org on the top. Yeah. If you have already created a playground, you can use that. So playground is a demo org or a org wherein you can log in automatically and you can play with Salesforce. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever we are learning. So yeah, Batch 23 org is now created. I can launch it from here. Okay. And here you are in Salesforce. Now here, when you log into Salesforce, you are also the system administrator. Okay, so your profile, automatic profile or user type is basically system administrator. That means You can use Salesforce as a business user. You can also use system as a system administrator. Okay, system administrator can do both. Business users cannot become system administrator. Okay. So what this screen, wherein this app manager is there, app launcher is there, and there is a tabbed view on the top. And if there is an app showing up here, in that case, you are in a business login or business user mode. Okay. This, you will see there are different kinds of apps here. So just like you will search with sales, which is a sales app. Just like in mobile phones, you have different apps. You can click any of the app, it launches. Similarly in Salesforce, this is the app launcher. It's called. All the different apps are available here. You can see all what are the different apps are there. So many apps, right? So the usually sales app is there, service app is there, right? We'll talk about sales app more. Last day we were talking about sales app. So how we saw about different objects, right? Which we talked. Every object is usually a tab here on the top. Yeah. This is like just like a table. You see, if I change the view here, that will show all the records of the system. You can change this view to records owned by you, and you can do many things. Yeah, we'll talk about that. All open leads. So this is the view in which it shows all the records, all the rows of a table of the lead table. Yeah. Similarly, in opportunity, I can change this to all opportunities, and I can see all opportunities which is there in this table. Similarly, I can go to account table. I can see all accounts, and I can see what are the accounts that are in this table. Contact. Again, I can change this to all contacts. I can see everything, right? By default, it will show you the recently. Like I have just gone to this contact. So if I go back again, you will see this contact is showing up. Because recently viewed record, it will always show you by default. But you can change this to all contact, and you can pin this. If you pin this, then every time you come to the contact tab, then it will always show all contacts. It will not show the recent record. Yeah. So whichever view you want to use, automate or make it default, you have to pin that. Okay, just like making it a favorite. So this is how the tab screen works, and this will show you all the records. You have there are many fields in this record. That means columns of the table. You can also change what are the fields to display. So you select fields to display. So you can go ahead and add other fields. These are the available fields on the left, and this is the visible field on the right. So you can add like many things. I will add the account ID. Why? I will talk later. And you can remove fields which you don't need. Yeah. So probably I will take it here and save. So if I do this now, you'll see there is a name field, then an account ID, then account name, title, phone number. I have used only 5 fields. I can have all fields also if you want, right? So any field which you want to show on the table, you can do that. There are many fields in the table, right? So similarly, same thing with account, same thing with lead, same thing with opportunity, right? We'll talk about. So it is a default feature. The standard objects also come with a standard tab. So this is a tab wherein you can create a new record using new contact here. Same thing is there in account also. New account. You can create a new opportunity, a new lead from here. The same thing you can do from here also. Same thing. It will open the same screen. Okay.
Sir, sorry to disturb you. Sir, can I have
Yeah.
I have one doubt, sir, actually. Sir,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
account ID, sir?
We will discuss this later. Don't worry about it. Let's
Okay.
first talk about Salesforce. The whole discussion in like next all 12 classes will have, we will only use account ID. You'll be bored with account ID. Okay, so don't worry about it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Or if the question is right away, it is the unique identifier of a row. Yeah, just like
Okay, sir.
what is your unique identifier? This was a question from. Sorry,
Sriram.
I was not seeing. Sriram. So
Sriram.
Sriram, I am definitely sure in India there are at least 1,000 Sriram with the same name as yours, right? With the same first name and
Okay.
last name, right?
Okay, sir.
So how do I identify you uniquely? If I say I am Sriram Irabakra, but he is my student, how 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 can I make sure that it is you and not another Sriram?
By any identification, further
What is
identification,
identification? What is your identification?
like we'll be seeing the personal, like how is the, we'll identify the color, we'll identify the these all.
So think about. I am sure you have taken a flight or you have gone or reserved a railway, done a railway reservation, right?
Hmm.
Have you done that? Okay. So
Yes, sir.
Birthmark will be the
sorry, what is identification? They require you to give identification, right? Or you check into a hotel, they will ask you for ID. What do you
yeah.
do? What do you
Aadhaar
provide?
card will use. Aadhaar
That is
card,
correct.
unique number.
So Aadhaar card number is basically your unique identification, because there will not be another person with that same Aadhaar card number in India.
Correct,
Correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
There can be 1,000 people with the same name, first name and last name as yours, but your Aadhaar card makes you unique in India, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
Aadhaar card number is critical, and that is the unique identification number that identifies you uniquely across all Sridhams. Okay.
Okay.
So here,
Okay.
this number, account ID, is actually doing that. It is a unique identification of this whole row. So I can create
Okay.
another contact which is exactly the same name, Andy Young.
Okay.
But how do I differentiate between two Andy Youngs? I differentiate between by using this unique identification of ID. That is unique ID means identifier. Simple. Here, contact
Okay.
has an account identifier. Why? We'll discuss this later. But every table will have an ID field. Okay. Every
Okay,
table.
sir.
Every standard
Okay.
object will have an ID column. Custom object will also have an ID column. ID column is the unique identifier for that record, that row.
Sir, I have
Okay.
another doubt, sir. Like if
Yeah.
the name is like multiple, then account ID will be different, sir.
No. May not be.
Okay.
I will give an example. What is this account ID? I will jump it later. So let's talk about an account. So I have all accounts here, right? I am coming to the account. Right. Okay.
Okay.
So you will not see this here. There is a field called ID field, which is not, I think, available right here. But in custom field, you will be able to add that. So let me show you that field. How many records are there? 13 records are there, right? In account table.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You can see all these records using a tool called Workbench. Workbench.developerforce.com. Here now we are talking and directly seeing this in the database. Okay.
Okay.
Workbench.developerforce.com. I will send you this link on WhatsApp. Don't worry. Click on this production and 56 and log in with Salesforce. Don't change anything, just default values, and then you allow that. Okay.
Okay.
You have to open this just in Chrome or any browser which you are using side by side. Otherwise, it will ask you for a login which you don't have. I will show you how to get a login also. So here there is a SQL query. SQL query is basically a query language. What is a query language? Query language is a language which gives you data from a table. Yeah,
Correct.
which table are we talking about? We are talking about account. So we are seeing
Account table.
SQL. Yeah, you don't have to learn anything right now about the language. It is very easy. The language, this tool automatically creates the language for you. Okay, so this is the object.
Okay. Okay.
And these are all the fields of that object. Here you will see there is an ID field. Before I go to that, I will do a count. Count brackets bracket. If I do, I will see how many records are there. You see 13 records. Exactly that
Okay,
13
sir.
records are here. Now let's see
Okay.
everything. Let's ID. What are the columns here? ID, name, phone type. Okay, let's just only have a name field. So I will put a command or control, whatever you are using, and I will have a name. See ID and name, ID comma name from account. So it's a very select. That's it. And I do a query. When I do a query, I can see every row has an ID and every row has a name. These are the
Name.
two
Correct.
fields which I'm saying. This is exactly that names which is appearing here. 13 rows. Here you see 13 rows are there. All these rows have a ID. Okay.
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Now let's take one. Let's say the similar story happens with contact also. Let's go to contact.
Contact, sir.
I am shifting to contact. I also can do a count. If I do a count, I see 20 records. Let me verify. Yeah, you see 20 records are there.
20
Cool.
records, sir.
I will only want to see the ID and name. So now every contact also has ID field. There is ID column, which is a unique identifier, and the name can be many things, right? Now here, this is not equal to what account ID field is. Account ID field is another field. If you go here, you will see there is another field called account ID. This one.
Okay. So another doubt, sir,
So
it will
now
automatically take the account ID or we need to assign the account ID, sir?
we have to assign the account. That is
Okay, okay.
ID field, any columns, any objects ID field is the primary key. That means the primary identifier. ID field is created by Salesforce. This is 18 character. If you see, these are 18 characters, alphanumeric 18 characters created by Salesforce. You don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But this is basically a foreign key. That means why do I need this? I will talk about this a little while later. This is a relationship. This contact is basically related to this account record, right? Because
Correct, sir.
I have account and contact is one-to-many relationship, right? So there can be three contacts which can have the same account ID. That is how we establish the relationship between an account and a contact.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see that in the table and we'll find out it in more details. So let's see, this is how we see the exact data in the database, what is there. And there are several columns, right? If you see all, you select like control shift and you do this everything and do a query, you will see there is so many values in this table. So this is a huge table, right?
Correct, sir.
You see? And you can add new columns also. That is a new field. Okay, so let's first see these objects in detail. So here, this is how is a salesman using Salesforce. Let me see that first. So he will start from a lead.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So as you told that if I want to add any kind of row or column on that field like workbench, so I can add through workbench, or I have to
no. Workbench is just a tool to see data. That's it.
Okay. Just for the checking data.
We'll see the data operations using workbench.
Okay.
For any kind of so what there is a will come to that on later. So how are we changing table or how we're adding data into a table? There are two different operations. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So first thing is that let's understand this, that this is now just the way a business user will be using the application. That means a salesman, right, will enter data. He will probably start with a lead. We'll go with a lead called Shobhanit Ghosh. Company is Bong Bong. You want to sell something to Shobhanit or do a deal with Bong Bong as a B2B customer, right? So here is my lead. I am starting to work on this lead. So what do? I change the status first that I am working on this lead. And I can do several activities, right? So I can say log a call. So what is that? I called him and he is interested. Wants a meeting next week. Cool. So these, whenever I log a call, you can see this is activity history, which is basically showing me what I am doing and what is the activity that is going on. So I can have a new task. I can say I can send an email. I can do many things. I can do even other events, like I can schedule a meeting with him, maybe next week, 14th. So that will be an upcoming upcoming event for me. You see, you have an upcoming event. You can see this where you can send even emails from Salesforce. So you can say from to Sovanjit Ghosh. Yeah, and I can say just mail, and I say mail also will go out, which this is not valid anyway. So okay, this is not valid. So yeah, and then I send mail. So okay, there is an unverified address which I have to log into that, and then we have to access it. So this is just background we have created. So we have a verification process of mail, so that mails goes out from this system. So I am working on the lead. Everything is basically now getting tracked. Whatever activities I am doing for this lead under my activity history, right? Everything I can do, and I can log a call. So my salesman, whatever is working on the lead, can then say that whatever the whole day I have worked on, what is the activity going on with the lead, and finally, if this person is interested in our products or not, right? If he's interested, then we convert this. So one row of the lead table now becomes 3 rows in 3 different tables. One row in account, one row in contact, one row in opportunity. And the original record in lead is vanishing. Okay, that is getting converted. So you see the lead record, most of the record data is mapped already with the contact fields. So lead fields are mapped with contact fields. The company name of the lead field is automatically used as account name, and the account field is getting filled up. And opportunity is a new record which you can fill up. So order for this one. Yeah, and I convert. So what it does is that it creates 3 different records in 3 different tables. Yeah, if I jump into account, all these are related. Account has a contact. Account also is related to opportunity. And it is one-to-many relationship, right? Account and contact. That is why I probably is also working with Animesh when I'm closing a deal. So I will add another person here or another person. You are seeing this account name is automatically filled up. This is filled up because I am in the account page. So I already know this contact will be related to which account. So this is already filled up for me. If I remove this, this will not show up under in this screen. Okay. Same with opportunity. If I create an opportunity, I can say now I create an opportunity for January. Close date is mandatory and stage is mandatory for opportunity. So, and I create another opportunity. So you see, one account, multiple contacts, one account, multiple opportunities. So one-to-many relationship is established between account and contact, account and opportunities, right? So you can also create an account directly in account table. So you can create a new, you can say bong bong 2. This is another account, right? And then there is another account that created. So if I go to the recent reviews, I can see all accounts also if I want pin it. Now you see bong bong and bong bong 2 has got added with the rest 13 records. Now it is total 15 accounts that has got created, right? I can directly add a contact here also. I can go here. Here you notice that there is no account. So you have to search for account in order to associate. So let me search for bong bong 2 and I will say Tom Cruise. When I do that, this account is created and you see one of the field is account name, which I can click and I can go to account. And when I go to account, I will also see Tom Cruise below. Are you able to hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's
I don't
completely
know.
fine.
Showing me that yeah, there is an internet problem.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So what is happening? What is going on?
I think Salesforce internal issues, sir.
No, something with my internet, I think. Let me check. Let me check with some other one. I think that's some problem with that. Okay, we'll come back to that. So what is happening is that now here I will go back to that account. So in this account, you can see you have added basically a contact which you have added directly. So which we did right now. So you can directly even go to the opportunity and create an opportunity, right? So here I will search for an account, test company. I will say test company order. Close date is mandatory, stage is mandatory. That is, please remember that. So whenever you do that, you also see account name and you can click on this and you will see opportunities are showing up. So when you click on any record in Salesforce, there are two important things. One is the detail. This is all the fields which you want to show on the screen. And another is related list. These are all the related items. That means child items. Child items means all that we will come and discuss what is actually happening there. So many relationship, whatever many relationship you have, that is called child, because parent will be one and child can be many, right? So that is why it is said that way. So account is the parent and contact is a child, opportunity is another child. So there can be many contacts, there can be many opportunities. So one to many side, the many side of a relationship, of one to many relationship, is child. The parent side is called, the one side is called parent, right? So you can have multi. So in the related list, you will see all the child records. In the details, you will see the details of the fields of that record. Any questions so far? So this is how a salesman will be using Salesforce.
Sir,
Okay.
here, sir, I have a question. Actually,
Yeah.
As you told that there is a parent. So parent will be the account here, na?
Parent is the account. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, sir.
Parent is the account, and related you have the child. Contact is a child. Opportunity is another child.
And sir, what about the lead?
Lead is a disconnected object which is related one-to-one with contact.
Okay.
If you see, when it is converted, it is that lead record will become a contact. We can see this also. If you go and explore the lead record. Very good question though. So you see, what is the count here I'm getting for lead? 23 records, right?
Okay.
But let's see here. If I go to all open records, you will see 15 of them. All 100 records, you will see 21 of them, right?
Okay.
All of
Okay.
them are not there. Why? Because you will see this is the converted fields are there. You will see only 2 of them are filled up. I will show you. ID. First name and last name. Query. Oh,
So
I did not recognize that these were not there anyway. Yeah. So there are, you see, there is one
yes,
record which is converted. So when it
yes,
goes
yes.
now a contact now, but that got converted from a lead. So it will no longer show in the lead table, though it is still there.
Okay.
Yeah, in the lead table, but it has got converted into an account ID and it is converted to a contact ID. If you click on this and want to see this account, it will show that it is a BongBong account, and so the converted contact is a shown with this one. View in Salesforce. Yeah, I think it's working now. Got it? So this is the contact actually. This
Got
got
it, sir,
created
got it.
from the lead. So lead and contact is one-to-one relationship. Okay. Okay. So even lead and account is also a one-to-one relationship, but they are not basically related because it gets converted rather than getting associated. Okay. The association is in the back end. That's it. So we have now covered the relationships. Now, how is this relationship getting created? Yeah. Let's see those relationships getting created. This is the setup. This is the office of a system administrator, right? You have to go to this system setting, just like you make any changes in your mobile app, you will go to the settings. Similarly, in Salesforce, you have to go to setup. Yeah, then only you can do all the changes to Salesforce. Anybody who is outside setup is basically business admin or a business user. But anybody who is inside, who gets to change the setup, is the person who is called system administrator. Okay. We'll start with user. If you search on the left, you will see a user setup. Here, you will see all the users which are there in the system. Okay. So these are the basically, you see on image bandy has already been created. There's a default username which Salesforce has generated for me. You can put your own username. Username will always be unique for Salesforce across the world. Just like email ID cannot be like no two people will have same email ID. Similarly, no two Salesforce users will have same user ID. Okay. For creating a user, you can create a new user. Every playground will allow you to create only one user. Okay. So choose that very responsibly. So you can put a first name, last name, or alias. Let's do. So I will say it's a normal user. Normal user. I will not create a system admin. Okay. So if I normal user, I will just restart it. Automatically will create that. Okay. Email ID. We always email ID. The same email ID you can use for multiple username, but username has to be unique. So what we generally do is that whatever you are using, username, my username is avi.silverlord@gmail.com, or maybe I will use the BongBong email ID. So animesh@bongbong.in. This is username. Always, this is the email ID. You see, whenever you put the email ID, username is automatically the same. But it is always a good idea to put a dot and do something like batch 33. That way, your username, this email ID can be used like this username you can like change for different purpose for different docs, right? But you are using the same email ID. Yeah. You see, user license is critical. User license is basically the total features which is possible from that user to use. There are different products of Salesforce. We will not discuss everything. We will only discuss Salesforce. So let's only select Salesforce. User license needs to be Salesforce. There is another Salesforce platform. Ignore that. Use only Salesforce. Profile. Salesforce by default gives many profiles. We can also create profiles. Profiles is a type of user, right? We'll only concentrate on a system administrator right now. I will create a system administrator. So this is a new user. I will say Animesh. I'll change this. Animesh batch 23. Yeah, you can put any alias. Yeah, and that's it. You have to change the like settings. Usually will stick with India. So that would be +5.5. Asia, Kolkata. Let's keep it United States. Language is same. This tick is very critical. This will generate automatically a password for me, and I will also get a notification. So I have created a new user in the system. I am also logging using this one, right? This I will like this user is basically I am getting logged in when I am basically like clicking on the launch button, right? This is the user, but I will try to use a login credential now. Okay, to log in. Okay, for that I will first have to go to my mailbox, and you see I have got a mail like this. Welcome to developer edition. Your username is below. You will be asked to set up your password and first login. I will click on this. I will reset my password. And I will put a password. And that's it. I have created a new user in my playground and I can log in using that. How do I do that? Let's see that. I will close all tabs and I will go to login.salesforce.com. And I will type this one, Animesh at bongbong.in.batch23 with my password. Will mark it remember me, and I am inside. I will save this. I can change this to India if you want. You want to register your mobile number. Don't want to register your mobile number. That's fine. Always a good idea to do that. That's it. I am now able to log in. So right now, you have seen how a normal user will log into Salesforce, or a system administrator will generally log into Salesforce. We are not using Trailhead at all now, right? Hands-on or launch button. No. Login.salesforce.com. You have a user ID password. You can log into Salesforce. Similarly, you can also open Workbench. And now I am logging in as, you see, any user, Animesh at Bongbong, this one. So we'll start using Salesforce with this user ID now. I am also a system administrator, so no problem. We have two system administrators in my playground now. I can see the same set of accounts, the same set of data which I created. So you'll see there were 15 accounts which we created, right? Those 15 accounts are available to me. So there are two users. Whoever is logging in, it does not matter. Both of the users will be seeing these 15 records. And now clear? The two people are logging into Salesforce, two organizations. Now, let us go back to Here in setup, I am trying to now see the different objects. Here we on the top, we have an object manager. Most of our time we'll now spend on object manager. Because you see all the different objects are there. You see here the type is standard object. Right? Most of them are standard object. So many standard objects. Everything are standard objects because this is just a playground I have created from scratch. I do not have any custom object at all because I did not create it till now, right? Here is the account table. If I click on it, here on the left, I can do anything on this account table, which is called field and relationships. Here, you will see all the fields of this table. That means all the columns of this table. Okay. So first, let's create a custom field on a standard object. So here, these are all standard fields. Some of them are custom fields. I will tell you which of them, how to identify which is a custom field and which is a standard field.
I think, sir, underscore is a custom field.
That's correct. If a field name, that means the API name of a field name is __C, then that is a custom field. If anything does not stop with __C in that is a standard field. That means you cannot delete that field. A custom field you can delete. It will show you a delete button. Yeah. So important part is that there are some custom field who created that. It is basically Salesforce Trailhead is already creating it for you. Okay, so don't worry about it. Usually when you get your org from scratch, you will not have any custom fields. So you have to create it from now. So there are these sets of different kinds of fields, right? So today we'll discuss the most important, the default field types which we have on Salesforce, which is a checkbox. If your value is always between true or false or yes or no, if the value of that column is only yes or no, right or wrong, true or false, binary value, that means two values only. In that case, you can use a checkbox, right? If the value is more than one, then probably you will use a pick list. Yeah, pick list will give you a list of values. You can check either of them, one of them. So if it is 3, minimum 3, then you will go for a pick list, right? If it is 2, then you will go with a checkbox, right? Easy solution. Pick list gives you a set of values already, predefined values, which you can check, just like checkbox, which gives you automatically, you can check or uncheck. We'll see this. Let's create one item each. So I am on the account object, and I will say my checkbox is my checkbox is my. You see the field name gets automatically filled up, and it does not have a space. It will always have underscore. Automatically that is created for you. Field label is the value which is displaying on the screen for users, and field name is actually what you will need and you have to use to do automations, and system administrators will be able to use this. This is also available to be used in Workbench. You cannot use field label in Workbench. Okay, so we'll create a new field called checkbox, my checkbox, and I will add this or make it visible for all users, and I will add to all screens. What is a layout? We'll discuss this. Layout is a screen. Okay, I have already added my checkbox here, right? So there's a new field which has got created. Let's search for that. My checkbox is created. You see, it is ending with __C. That means it is a custom field on a standard object. Similarly, I can create a pick list field. Let's create a pick list field. My pick list. Okay. Here I can use a global pick list. That means some value which I want to reuse, 3 or 4 values which I want to reuse. If I do have a global pick list, I can use this again and again in multiple objects, but I don't have anything right now. I want to have 3 values here. So let's give some values like value 1, value 2. Okay. 3 values is needed, right? Otherwise, what is the point of a pick list? it is very important that for every fields, when you are creating a custom field, you can make this a required. What is this required? It will make it mandatory. That means you will always see a red line before that. I will show you that later. For pick list, there is also an important checkbox, which is called restricted pick list. That means you have to select any of these values itself. But if you uncheck this, what you can do is that you can type any other value into or assign any other free text into it. It behaves like a free text. Okay. Usually it is not recommended. We will go with a restricted pick list so that only these values can be selected and assigned to this pick list. Yeah. Okay. You can also, by default, if you do not have a default value, it will show as none, and we'll see this. We can also set something as a default value. In that case, you don't have to select anything. By default, one value will be selected always. I will again make it visible for all users, and I will also add to the all screens. What is all screen? We'll discuss this later. So I have now created a pick list. Now pick list means one value that can be selected out of many values which you have given. Every value is given using like a new line, right? Value 1, then I did a enter, I went to the new line, I'd give another value. That is how I'm giving all the values of a pick list. But there is also another thing which is called multi-select pick list. In pick list, you can only select one value. But if you want to select more than one values, that you can also do using multi pick list. Again, this I can use now a global value which I can assign, but I will not do. I will again set another set of values. So m value 1, m value 2, m value 3. All the same things are available here. Well, how many lines you want to display, that you can specify here. You can make it required and so on. Right now, we'll keep the default values in stack, and we'll discuss this later. Okay, I have added this to all screens, and I have given this permission to all users. We'll discuss this in details. What is this permissions and then start? We'll have a separate chapter to discuss this. Don't worry about it. So we have worked with checkbox. We have worked with multi-select pick list. We have worked with pick list. Now we have the text box, which can accept any letters and numbers, right? Anything you can type here. So usually my text box maximum value of a text box is 255 characters. So I am using it all. I can make it required. I can also make it unique. You see, that means I can only make it unique means you can enter one value once, and then you will never be able to enter that value in that table ever again. You can also make it case sensitive or case insensitive. Case sensitive means a capital letter or small letter is different. In case insensitive, it is the same. Capital letter and small letter will be treated as the same. What is an external ID? We'll discuss this in next class. Again, I will give permission to everybody, and I will add it to all screens. Done. So I have created a text box. I will not create all the box, all the values. I'm just trying to tell you the difference between a text box and other fields. There's a text box and there's a text area. Both have 255 characters at max. The only difference between these two is that in a text box, you cannot break the line. You cannot use enter button. In text area, you can break the line. You can have separate lines. Okay, that is the only difference between this. Both have the same set, like same character limit, 255 characters. Please remember that line break is also a character. Okay, text area long. This is basically a big text box which you want to create, which can accept a lot of values. Right? So many characters, and you can also break the lines. Give me one second. You can break the lines. Text area rich. Rich is that you can do whatever you want to do with the long, same things, but you can also add images on it. You can put hyperlinks, you can format data, that means bold, italics, coloring of the fonts, everything you can do that in text area rich. Text encrypted is that something which is masked out, right? Wherein you are storing some values which you don't want other people to see. Just like a password or a something like a credit card number, something of that sort. Encrypted text, right? So we discussed all this. Then we have a date field, which is just the date part of a date. So today's date is 30 November 2022. So that is basically, if you are accepting a date field, you get this one. If you want a date time field, that means you have the date pop-up. There will be a date pop-up as well as there will be a time pop-up. Let's create this and we can see how it works. Play with these all. Very important. Create one field each so that you understand all the field types.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this field name is there, no, sir? Like if it is three sentences, then 3 underscores we need to keep, or only 1 underscore we need to keep, like that it is there in field name.
Please come again. I did not understand your question.
Sir, once open the field date and time, sir.
The last field which I created.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me.
Open that one, sir. There you have created that my field name is there, no, sir? Second one. My
Yeah.
date, my underscore date time. Like if it is like my date underscore time, like that we need to create, or my day underscore date time. Is it
It
enough,
is
sir?
basically it is this part field label is basically is the value which you are seeing in the screen. So here I have added to account, right? So let's see a new account. So we'll see this.
Okay, if we'll give spaces, automatically underscore will be coming, sir.
Yes, because the API name cannot have space. That is the reason.
Okay.
So
Okay,
you
sir.
see my pick list is there. There is a space here, right? It is fine. So here again, then you have, you'll see this my date time. This field is here, right? Then you have my text box, right? My pick list, my checkbox. Everything has a space, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
in the field name, that is the API name, it cannot have space. So that's why it automatically replaces the spaces with underscore.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Basically, it is a custom object. That's why it is automatically loaded, na?
It's a custom object because it is you are creating this. For standard objects, you will also have no spaces. If
No
you see
spaces.
the account
Yes, sir.
number, you see there is no underscore. They will just merge it together.
Yeah, yes, sir. I got it, sir.
Important thing is that camel casing is important. Here, everything you see, every word starts with the capital letter. So please follow that convention. There is a naming convention in place. So please use that always. So do not start any word with small letters.
Yes, sir.
For any
Another
kind of
doubt, sir.
labeling.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Another doubt, sir, like controlling field and indexed, what it is, sir, like it is getting highlighted, like how it is.
Which one?
This
This one.
field.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
We'll discuss this.
Okay.
So let's see the details first. What are the basics? Basic fields are there. So see how the date field differs. So date field all gives a pop-up so that you can pick the date. And there is a time field also, which gives you a pick list which you can choose. So this is the combination field of date and time. But individual, you can only use this part, and you can only use this part using two different fields. One is basically the date field, which is basically this one, and there is also a time field, which is this one, right? If you need any field to store only the time, then use the time field. If you want that only date should be there, then use date. If you want date and time both to be stored, then use this one. Clear? If you want to store some values of email, then you should use this one. So there is already a text field, right? So what is the point of having an email ID field, email field? What is the benefit of that? Can somebody give a try.
Because
Why
at the
there is-
rate we need to keep no sir, like special character. So that verification we use image.
that means the format of the email must be followed.
Yes sir, yes sir.
These different kind of fields, which like a number field, like a phone field, these are given so that there is a validation of the data happening right away when you are entering the values, right? When you have the URL. Similarly, so all these fields have a format check already built in, so that you cannot like mistype it or put a wrong value on that fields. That's why these fields are there. Certainly, you can create a text field and also dump like put the values on a text field, but don't do that. Try to match the data type with the field type. Choosing the correct field type allows you to automatically put a data validation for what the user is entering, right? So there is a number field which allows you to enter any number. It does not allow you to start a number starting with 0. If you have to start anything with 0, then you have to use a text field. Clear? So if you have a number field, and you can also put a decimal to a number field. Let's see a number field. So if I go next and my number, you see there is a 18 character. That means 18 character, 18 numbers you can put. Right now it is 18 numbers before decimal. If you reduce this, you can add two characters after decimal point. So whatever you less from this length, you have to add it on the decimal length and keep it 18. Right? That's how these number fields work. It is exactly the same for currency field also. So why will I use a currency field? Why the currency field is different and why is a number field different? What is the benefit of a currency field and a number field? Why these two are different? Any ideas? Anybody wants to give it a try?
Currency may different like dollar, rupee.
Absolutely. So the number field in number field you can enter the amount, right? Or numerical value.
Actually, quantity of like 200, 600,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. But if there was no currency field, then you had to create two fields. One was the number field, another was a pick list field for selecting which currency type is it, right? Is a dollar or INR or something else. So combining these two fields is the currency field. This automatically gives you, by default, it is a dollar. Okay, you can change the default currency of the organization. That way, it will always show that default currency instead of dollar. We can change the default currency using local. Yeah. So this is my organization. I can change the default local, default time zones, and currency local also. Okay. So I will now choose probably English India, INR. Yeah. Let's keep the default local because language I think is fine. I can change this also to Indian time zone. This is the organization wide change. This is not the user level change. Yeah. User local and organization local is different. You can have the organization local, organization headquartered in India, but the user can be logged in from USA. So they will have a different local setting. Okay. So very important for you to understand that organization local and the users local are two different things. And I save it. So now if I create a currency field, it will always show INR. Let's see that. I'll go back to the account. I will create a currency field. My currency. And again, this can be made just same way. 2 decimal place, I will use it. So I will listen to, and I will do this. And that is it. I save it. So here now, I have created so many things, and I have added to the page layout, which is immediately down below. You'll see this one. This is basically the different different screens or visibility of the fields. Where is this used? When you create the account and you see the detail, inside this detail, this is your layout. This is the same layout which is getting used when you click on the new button. This is the layout. Okay, the same layout which is there here. It's in read mode, that is an edit mode. If you are editing this, also the same layout opens. So here in the account, I have seen 4 layouts. Why do you think a object needs multiple layouts?
For their role, I mean marketing, sales, support.
So different people of your organization who are working in different departments may not be working on all fields, right? Marketing team might require marketing related fields. Sales people might only work on or enter values in sales related fields. Support people might be only needing the support related fields. So you don't want to give, or you don't want to increase their screen size with unnecessary fields which they don't use. That's why you will create different layouts. And in the page layout assignment, you will assign which layout we should be assigning to which team. I am a system administrator. You see, I have account layout assigned to me. So I will go and change my account layout. Here you see, all these fields have been created here. I can drag and drop and make them side by side. One field came here. So I can now sanitize my page layout. I can also create a yeah, that's fine. No, let me save this first. Yeah, it takes a while to make or show these changes, what you have done right away on the screen. There's a caching system which is in place, so that will take effect and then it will reflect it. Please remember, down below, you have the related list. So the layout itself is controlling everything, not only this detail, but also what is there in their related list. Clear? Same thing. So now let me refresh my screen. Go to details. Hopefully it is reflecting now. Yes, it is. You see, my pick list, my text box, my number. Now it is showing side by side. Clear? All things has been put now side by side. So that's how you will show this, and this will also come in the edit mode and new mode. So if I now create a new account, I will see my pick list, value 1, value 2, value 3. I can choose one of the values. Text box, I can type anything, number, numeric. Here it gives me a pop-up to select the value. In the currency field, I can type anything. You see, it is showing my INR symbol automatically. And in the number, I can type anything. You see, it only allows 2 decimal place after that, so it takes it out. The checkbox is basically true or false. And in the multi-select pick list, I can choose multiple values. Pick list, only one value. In multi-select pick list, I can choose multiple values. And I save the value. And you see, this is how it will look like. Pick list value is semicolon separated. Rest is fine. Currency is automatically filled up. Checkbox. So there you can create your own fields in account table or any standard table. By default, account also comes with standard fields, which we have seen. Name field will be a standard field for all tables. Every table will have a name field. Usually for standard objects, you will see that object name, then space, then that's the name. That's a field level, right? That's how it is been. But if you see the standard fields, there are many standard fields which is there in account. Same will be in contact, right? This is it. So now what we will see next is how are we creating a new object, new table. Okay, I will create a table called application. I have to also say how will I pronounce it when there is a plural. So it is applications. Okay. Now I have created this table. Save it. So this is a new table. Whenever I create a new table, you see there are automatically standard fields which is created by Salesforce. Name I said is created by Salesforce. So how will you enter values into this table? You see there are some other values also. This is called audit fields. There is a created by, last modified by, and owner. These three values are also created automatically by Salesforce. Apart from this, there's the ID also that is also created. To see a new table, you have to close Workbench and log in once again. Otherwise, that new table will not appear for you. So now I will go to SQL query. I will go to now application. You see there is a application __ C, because this is a custom table. How do I get to see this? If you go to Object Manager, search with application, you will see this application API name is called __ C. It is called custom object. This is the first time I'm seeing a custom object, right? We created one. Custom object also has standard fields, as we said. So you will go to custom objects. Where is the object? Account, application, right? Here we are seeing only 4 fields. Actually, it is not 4 fields. There are a lot more fields. You see, there are so many fields. Because these are combination fields. Combination fields is something which we'll discuss later. Most important field which you are not able to see here is basically the ID field. This is by default created by Salesforce. Okay, and this is the unique identifier for every record. So now, how do I fill up this table with records? How will I give this table to my business users to use? Business users needs a tab. Then only they will be able to use a table, right? So if I go there and I type with application, is there any tab called application? Nothing, right? No results, because there is no tab. So creating a table is not enough. We have to go and create a tab. Then only users can fill data. So I will go to tab and I will create a custom object tab. Okay. I will choose a color, which is mandatory. I will choose which object, because I have only one object, so it is giving me this, and then I do next. I have to choose which this tab will be given to which people. I will keep it default on for all users, all user types. And they are asking whether you want to put this tab inside any application. Application is what? Application is basically this one, right? This app manager is opening what? So I want to, you see, there is no application tab in my sales tab. I want to put this inside my sales tab. So I will take it out and I will only put inside my sales tab. That's it. So now let me refresh and see if the application tab is now available or not. Again, it takes a while to show up. Let me see, this application tab is showing. Yeah, now we have a application tab, right? Items is application. Very soon you will see this application also showing in the sales tab. So here now I have the new button. I have a new button here also. So I can create a new application using this. Only name tab is filled up by you, nothing else, right? Because name tab is, what kind of field is this? Let's go back to our tabs and object manager application tab. Name is basically a text 80, and it's same. If you go to account also, the same thing. Name field is a data type is name, right? Here in our custom object, the name field is a text field, right? Text 80 field, 80 characters maximum. But I can also make this auto generating. Okay, how do I do that? If I go to this tab, this field, give me also. I go to edit. Here I can make the data type text or auto number. If I make it an auto number, it will also ask how is the numeric sequence will start. So I will say you will have AAP application for short form. Then I will be hyphen and then 4 characters or 4 numeric digits of this. This is how I want this to format, and it will start from 1. So it will start from 0001, then 0002, something of that sort. So let's see how it will work. So now I go and refresh it. I have the application object. Now you see it is not asking me for the application name because it is auto-generated by Salesforce. I hit save, and you see automatically Salesforce gives me a numeric number. If I now create 2, automatically it will be the second one, APP2. You see, or Salesforce is incrementing based on the application number. So the name field can also be made auto-generated. Okay. Don't miss it with IP, because if you see, I also have a name field. ID is 18 character alphanumeric key. That is still there. It is not going away. You see, there are 2 records. The 18 character is still there, and the name field is. This 18 character is also possible for you to see when you open any record. On the top in the URL, this is actually the ID of that record. Okay, this is the same ID which you have here. Okay, so on the URL on the top, when you are opening any record, it also shows you the ID of that record. Okay, this is critical to remember. Anything, if our account also is the same thing. If you go to the account, it will also show you the account ID.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, it's Amit from this side.
Yeah.
Sir, how to see the account ID in Workbench?
I thought I showed you the first thing. Here you have all the IDs of your accounts.
Okay.
Like edge communication, right? If you go to account, open this one, select this one. This is actually your Salesforce ID. This is called Salesforce ID. If you search this is Dixon Bix Salesforce ID. So ID field, when somebody is talking about ID field, he is generally talking about Salesforce ID. SFID is also something it is called. SF is short form for Salesforce. So SFID, ID field, Salesforce ID is the same thing. It is a 18 character case insensitive ID. There is also a 15 character case insensitive ID. If you just use this first 15 characters, leave the last 3 and keep the casing correct, then that will become your 15 character ID. Yeah, that can, but don't worry about it. Always use the 18 character. 18 character is case insensitive. So however you store, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So this is how every row will have its ID. Every row on every object will always have a Salesforce ID. The name field can also be made auto-generated by just changing the data type, wherein that will change or stop being a user input, and that will become an auto-generated ID. Okay. So play around with the other fields. I am not going to explain the other fields. But again, the most important field which we did not discuss today, that is something which we'll discuss now. That is, you see, you have talked about auto number. This is the, you can create another auto number also. This works the same way as we just now created or change the name field. You can also create another auto number field. If you don't want to touch the the name field, you can always use the auto number field, right? Same. It works the same way. Apart from that, you can also create lookup and master detail. It is very important for you to understand these two differences. So I will discuss lookup and master detail in the next class. Right now, these two, let me explain you. I will not discuss this one in more details. This is an advanced topic. So lookup and master detail, these are basically relationship fields. Any relationship field is created in the child side, not on the parent side. Please remember that. Always, your child in their identity card, they will have your father's name. Fathers does not carry identity card with their child's name, right? It never happens. The child will always carry their father's name or mother's name. The parents will not carry their children's name in their identity, right? So it is very important to understand lookup and master detail relationships, or these kind of fields will always be created in the many side of a one-to-many relationship, right? That is important. So what will happen when there is a many-to-many relationship? Any idea?
We have to for many to many relations we have to
Use
look up
master detail, sir.
master degree. Yes, sir.
Master detail.
No. So here, if you see in account does not have any relationship with contact. There is nothing called contact. But if you change the account manager to contact, if you see, there is a field called account ID. The field label is called account name. And this has a relationship called lookup. Lookup to an account object. Correct? Let's create a lookup field on our new object, which we created, right? Let's create that. This is the application object, which we created. And we'll also create a lookup. This is the lookup field. Which object? I will create it as a child of account. Right? Same. And it is asking whether what is the relationship name of the child. So it is applications. This will come in the related list. Make it visible to everybody. Add it to the application object and save it. Now you see there is a new relationship field which is created in the child, and that is called lookup to account. Okay, how that is getting used? Let's go and create a new application. Let's refresh the screen. Here now, when I'm creating it, it is asking this application is belonging to which account? I can search my account. Let me associate with BongBong2 and save. Now it is showing this application was created, which is now related to account BongBong. So if I go to BongBong now, there is a related list called applications. You see, application 3 is showing up on the thing. I can jump into application again from there. So this is exactly what is happening. So child application is a child record of account record. Clear? Now, previously there was no relationship. Account and application had no relationship. Now there is a relationship. What is a relationship? It is a one-to-many relationship with account. That means account, one BongBong can have multiple applications. Let's create another application. Again, BongBong2. So application 4 and application 3 both are now related to Bongbong 2. You see, it is showing up here. So one-to-many relationship with account now. So lookup creates a one-to-many relationship with the table you are referring. Clear? You are creating a child object and a
Yes, sir.
relationship with another table. Here the relationship is with the account table. Lookup is created on the child side always. Lookup is the creation. But how is that behaving? If you go to there, you see this is it's called account, right? And this value is hyperlinkable. If you generally see a hyperlinkable text, most probably that is a lookup field. Most probably. Okay. Why it is hyperlinkable? Let's see this once again. So I will just open Workbench once again. I will go to account record. Sorry, application record once more. Application object once more. Here now I will have another field. ID. I have many things. I have name. And I will also now have this account underscore underscore and see what value is there. So 3 and 4 has a relationship with account, right? Before that, there was no field of this kind. So if I go to application object, you see there are 4. I go to all 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add the account here. Select fields to display. I now have an account. Save it. So there is 2 applications which is related to an account. 2 of them don't relate to any account. Exactly, that is what we are seeing. 2 is blank. 2 does not have account ID. This ID is the ID of the account. So your lookup field actually stores Salesforce ID. Lookup is not storing a text field. Please remember that. Okay, it is actually storing the Salesforce ID, and that is why it is so important. So this Bongbong 2, it is hyperlinkable. That means this is the ID field. Because if there was an ID, a user will not be able to use that field because they do not know which account it is. To make life easier for them, Salesforce automatically changes an ID field to the name field of that primary object. So now I can see Bongbong 2 automatically. Even you can see this here also. If you change the underscore underscore C to underscore underscore R and do a dot and a name, you have to open a relationship also. It will show you the name field instead of the ID. You see? So it is important for you to understand that lookup relationship is basically storing actually the Salesforce ID. Now it is important for you to realize ID is unique for a table. When that ID is used in another table for relationship, that can repeat. Okay. What do we mean? That we'll discuss in corresponding next class. And we'll discuss about foreign key and primary key differences. But overall, your assignment starts today. So I will now give you assignment, which you have to show me before next class. I will
Sir,
stop recording.
data type formula we did not discuss, no sir? Formula.
अच्छा होएगा.
Okay.